Shields up, Ironbreakers. Burkan here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Subject 2923, which is the name of the latest DLC for Remnant from the Ashes. Now, as you guys might be aware, if you've been with the channel for a while and you've seen my previous Remnant from the Ashes videos, you'll know that I really enjoyed the game when I initially played it. I played the entirety of it over on Twitch, uploaded full playthrough onto the secondary channel, and after that playthrough, went back, played some more of it in the harder difficulty, and checked out some of the adventure mode stuff so that I could collect some more of the weapons and some more of the armor sets so that I could have access to different playstyles, like going after different builds and stuff like that. Like, I saw a lot of potential for this game and I was really excited, and I played like a good chunk of it. Now, in Swamp of Courses came out, which was the first DLC that they put out. I was busy playing something else, so I ended up never really getting to it. But with this latest DLC, Kegren was like, hey, we should check this out. And he actually gifted me the DLC. And so over the last couple of days, I've been playing through it. And I mean, playing through it is a word that I use very loosely because, let's just say that I'm extremely disappointed with this DLC. And let me explain to you guys exactly why, because it's not because they fundamentally changed the game or anything. It's not like the game suddenly lost its potential. It's just because, as far as I'm concerned, for the platform that I was playing the game on, which is the PlayStation 4, and I know a lot of people are going to come out of the woodworks and my PC master race. And it's like, look, dude, control your ego over the fact that you can assemble something that's about as hard as a Lego and that your wallet is pretty damn big, okay? Look, I've built plenty of PCs myself. I just prefer playing on PS4 because I have a lot of friends that own a PS4, and that makes it a little bit easier whenever we want to hang out at each other's houses and just, like, you know, play co-op games. That's the reason why I play most of my games on PS4. So I wanted to play this on PS4. So both me and Kegren have it on PS4, and we started playing through the game on PS4. And like I said, I don't believe that this game went through any kind of QA on PS4, because if it did, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Some of the things that I'm going to be talking with you guys about. So first things first, the performance. Now, the performance of the base game on the PlayStation 4 was also not that great. Remnant from the Ashes, the original game. And it was one of those things that I was like, okay, look, I'm willing to deal with this because there's, you know, it's a new game, new franchise. Maybe they're still working out the kinks. Maybe a couple of patches here and there will improve performance a little bit, because the correlation of performance to visual fidelity was not particularly impressive, in my opinion. But I was like, dude, you know, it's fine. I can see the potential here. I can kind of forgive them for this. And like, you know, maybe in the future they'll patch it up. They'll make it better, whatever. Well, with this DLC, the performance issues were magnified like tenfold. Like, not even exaggerating. It's extremely inconsistent, the frame rate, all throughout the experience. So there were several performance issues there. And a lot of the times those performance issues also led to audio issues. So like the audio will just stutter. Sometimes it'll just flat out stop if the screen is too busy. Like, there's just flat out no audio. Like, throughout the entire playthrough of this DLC, I was joking with the stream that I actually only had audio for like 90% of the playthrough. The other 10%, the audio was just glitching all over the place, disappearing. It was a crazy audio experience. I was even considering just like, look, I'll just mute the sound and play the game without sound because this is friggin' insane. So a lot of audio issues throughout the, like not just one area, throughout the entirety of the thing. Like, if you watch that live stream, you will notice it was completely insane. I can't get there. These goddamn sound glitches, Jesus. We've had several hard crashes. Sometimes it was Kegren, other times it was me. Several hard crashes throughout the game as well. There is this ailment in the game, which is a freeze status, that one of them, they have like this mage cast like this AoE freeze thing, and it freezes your screen. It freezes over your screen to give you like an effect, right? And that's cool because, you know, the boss did something, not the boss, like one of the minions did something and it froze your screen. Now it's hard for you to see. But after you kill that dude, the screen kind of like unfreezes and you can continue playing. That is, unless you're not the host. If you happen to be the one that's in the session with the host, then like 8 times out of 10, the freezing does not go away and your screen is basically frozen until you exit the game and then come back. Or was it when we rested out of stone? I think it's until you exit the game and come back. So yeah, that was something that we had to deal with multiple times. Now, a game like Remnant in the base game also had a couple of janky stuff going on with the hitboxes, but in this game, I'm not even sure if I would mention it if it wasn't for all of the other problems. It's just kind of like on top of everything else that happened throughout our experience, all of the problems, all of the technical issues we had with the game, the janky hitboxes also added another layer on top of that. Like there's certain enemies, they'll do like a leaping attack and they'll hit the ground, and it's not like there's a shockwave or anything. It's just like they're these big rat dudes, and they jump in the air, they slam down with their maces, and a lot of times they would be like super far away, and you would still die. I'm not sure if that's lag. I'm not sure if it's intended to be like that because there's no clear indication of like a proper hitbox there. So you're just like wondering, was I supposed to die? Was it a janky hitbox? Was it a performance thing? You're just like, I don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, we muddle on through all of this. We go through the whole thing until we eventually go back to the beginning of the DLC, which is kind of like everything kind of goes back to the beginning, and then you go and you fight the final boss. And when we get to the part of the final boss, there's this cinematic that plays out, and I just thought this was completely hilarious. So I'm watching the cinematic. And in this game, if you have multiple players, your cinematic just shows you your main character. It doesn't show you your party. It shows you your main character. And so I'm looking at my main character, and I see Kegrin's character in the background, which I'm not supposed to be seeing in cinematics because, you know, it's just the way the game is. But I see like the silhouette of his character basically falling through the world. And I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm like, that's really funny. And, you know, if that's the only thing that happened, it would have been funny, right? Like you see your friend falling through the world, whatever. It's a funny thing. But after that cutscene ended, Kegrin's screen was black, like permanently black. He couldn't see anything.
This is bad.
What?
Like, I literally have black. I have a black screen. I see my interface and everything. I can move.
What if we rest at the checkpoint? Come here.
If I find my way back.
Yeah, there you go. No. Yeah, you're getting closer. Come on, a little bit closer. No. There you go. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, right there. Press square. There you go.
No, we have to travel if anything.
Game, dude.
They did not test this multiplayer at all.
This fucking game, dude. Literally nobody tested the PS4 version, dude. There's no way that we run into all these fucking problems. Sure, it's not the first time we're playing it, it's the second time we're playing it, but it's like, dude, there's no way, dude. To be honest, at this point, I just want to finish the story. Do you see stuff now?
Nope.
Okay, exit the game, I guess. I don't fucking know. The game was basically unplayable for him. So we're like, okay, well, let's travel to a stone to see if we travel to a different location. We'll reload the level and everything will be honky-dory, right? So we go to the stone. Like, I was able to guide him to the stone because, again, he couldn't see the geometry of the level. All he saw was black. So I got him to the stone. We go to the stone. We teleport back to Ward 13. And anyone who's played this game on PS4, you'll know the loading times are insane. So we load into Ward 13, and guess what? His screen is still completely black. Game is still unplayable. He has to actually exit the game and then come back and then rejoin. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, let me just kill the final boss and just be done with it, please. Little did I know that the final boss was literally the worst part of the experience. It was the worst part of the experience. So we get to the final boss, and what happens in the final boss? I'm not showing you guys footage of the final boss just yet for people that care about spoilers, but I will show it, and I'll give you a warning ahead of time. So we get to the final boss, and what happens during the final boss? The screen just like freezes. And when I say freezes, I'm not talking about the freeze ailment. I'm talking like, imagine like a massive lag spike. The screen does that all the time. The boss is still doing stuff, but you literally just can't react to it because it's frozen. There's nothing you can do. So you're getting hit all the time, and then you're trying to dodge his attacks, then the screen freezes again, and you're trying to aim your weapon towards his weak spot, and the screen freezes again. And I'm just like, dude, it's literally unplayable. And here's the thing, right? Like, I could accept, I shouldn't have to, but let's just even say I can accept there being like bugs in some of the random bosses that you get along the way, because you don't always get the same bosses. And if your QA is somewhat limited, then maybe you weren't able to exactly test all the bosses as much as you would like, right? So I could understand if one of the bosses along the way to the final boss would be a little bit more glitchy and whatever. And I'd be like, okay, I get it. You put like, I don't know, 5, 6, 8, I don't know how many bosses there are in this DLC, but let's say you put like 6 or 8 different bosses throughout this DLC, because again, the levels are procedurally generated. The bosses that you get are random, so on and so forth. So I could understand, right? You weren't able to test all of this, but like when you mess up this bad in the final boss, what that tells me is like, look, literally nobody played this. Like not a single person bothered to play this, at least on PS4. And that was the other thing. Like I was thinking to myself, you know, maybe it's just the PS4 version, but at the same time, people who are on my stream who also play this game, they're telling me, no, dude, PC version, like it's pretty much the same thing. It's maybe not as bad, but you also get the same screen freezes and you also get screwed over by it in the boss. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, how do you, like... Again, I could see it being a problem on PS4, and maybe I would be a little bit more, understanding about it. But like when it's also a problem on the PC, it's just like, look, you didn't even test your final boss. You just didn't even quality test the final boss of your DLC. And this is not like, in terms of a story impact, this is not like some kind of insignificant DLC. Like this boss is incredibly important towards the story of Remnant from the Ashes. This is an incredibly important moment in the game. And like, look, I get it. A lot of people probably come in here and say, well, Rurikhan, you know, we've had COVID. They've had to delay it. They've had to do this and they had to do that. And it's like, look, I understand, okay? There's COVID. There's all of these problems going on in the world, and you guys had to adapt to new situations with your studio people working from home and all of that. Guess what? Delay your game further. Like, just delay the game further until you can give the people something that, you know, where you can at least fight the final boss and not feel like it's a complete garbage show, right? But anyway, because of that, like we weren't able to beat the final boss throughout sheer skill, so we started coming out with tankier and tankier builds and stuff like that. And someone from my chat, Arakuso Hime, thank you very much, by the way, he joined us and he had like this massive tank build with like the tankiest armor in the game and all of that. And he used something that Kegren had been using as well, which is this build that kind of heals everyone around you through bleed. So he was using that. And basically me and Kegren died throughout the fight, and he was just kind of like soloing the boss because it was really decked out. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever, dude, just give me some closure, just kill this boss. So he kills the final boss, and what happens in the final cutscene as the game is like stuttering? It feels like the whole game is just like hanging on by multiple threads, and it feels like everything can break at any point during this whole part of the final boss. Like the game looks about ready to friggin' explode. And he kills the final boss, and I'm like, oh God, thank you. At least I get some closure. And as the final cutscene is playing out, the game hard crashes. The game just hard crashes back to desktop. And I swear, it was like instinctive. I didn't even hesitate. I just rage and installed the game, just like straight up. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, you really poisoned all of the goodwill that I had for the base game. And I love that base game. The base version of Remnant, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed my time with it. And dude, to see like that there was no effort put in to just like quality test, this DLC was just so incredibly disappointing. Anyway, I'll show you guys some of the footage from the final boss. So if you don't want to be exposed to spoilers, this is your warning. You should probably head out of the video now if you want to eventually play this and by yourself and not be exposed to the final boss and all that. So anyway, in 3, 2, 1, here you go. This is what the final boss experience was like. Those constant freezes that you are watching right now, those are not because YouTube is messing up. Those are not because I messed up the edit. That was actually what it was like to play the game against the final boss. And as kind of like a finisher, I guess I'll just show you guys what happened at the end when Arikusu finally defeated the boss and I was getting ready to at least get my closure on the game. So yeah, I'm very, very disappointed, and this is not a video that I even wanted to make, but it's just as someone that basically sang the praises of Remnant from the Ashes, I have to kind of like let people know, look, this is what the last DLC is. Look, you can play the final game. It was actually free on Epic Store not that long ago. You can play the final game, the initial game, I mean, and the initial game is great, but I would not advise people to get the last DLC for sure. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I'm sorry it's a bit of a downer. I really don't like doing these, but yeah, I don't want people to eventually be like, hey, Rurikhan, you said Remnant was awesome. I bought this DLC and it's trash. I was like, yeah, sorry. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you enjoyed the video, which I would find it hard, you can hit the like button. If you did not enjoy the video, hit the dislike button. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out. Did he kill it?
Yeah.
Yay! I don't know why it gave me a trophy. I definitely don't deserve that. But thank you, Arikusu. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Arikusu. We definitely deserve it.
If you say so.
For suffering through this.
So he's fused with something else. The little purple tendrils thing. And now the something else is leaving. Perfect! This is perfect! Like with a nice bow tie on top. F you. This was great. No, listen, guys, this was fantastic. Listen, I think this was really good. I think, yeah, exactly. There's my recommendation right there. That's what you need to do if you own that game. There, done.